what is the beginning of the first hill down for you, and how are you handling that?
I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that I didn't feel joyful I didn't feel that joyful anymore.
What was the last thing you did that you remember?
I was going from, I didn't know how to go from a boy to a man. Does that make sense?
It does, yes.
Because I kind of went from a boy to a man at 30.
Okay.
You know, because I was a childlike guy, and then the weasel and all that shit was very, you know, to do, you know what I mean? It was just, I was burnt out. I just felt like I had more dimensions in me than you know what I mean?
And you'd been in it for what, about 12 years at that point?
Yeah, so it was inside of me, this kind of like relatable guy. I just didn't feel the anymore. So, you know, I started to look different. I started to act different. I became very self-aware that things weren't happening. I got self-aware that my box office wasn't as good as it was. I got self-aware that the critics were saying what they were saying. And you kind of start believing it because the offers kind of dry up. You're like, well, maybe this fucking movie was terrible. And maybe, you know, you start to second guess yourself. And so, I just I'm a very, very vulnerable, like heart type of person, like my mom. You know, I make a lot of my decisions based off of this and not this. You know what I mean? Which is exactly like my mom. I have my mom's heart, you know? And I didn't look at it as a business. You know, I took it personal. And so what happened was after my sitcom got canceled on Fox, I decided that it was time for me to kind of part ways with my agent and manager. I was with great agents and great management, but I was just like, I just needed a break. So then once I you know, broke up with them, and then I kind of took a break, and then I went to my attorney, Jake, and I said, well, now what? Now what do we do? And he said, you had a good run. Like, just chill. Like, just chill. Like, you had an awesome run. Like, no one does that. You know what I mean?
It's a good point.
I'm so fucking stupid that I should have just said, yeah, just fucking chill, dude. Like, dude, you rocked. Like, what I shouldn't have done is fired them and just chilled and just been like, yo, I'm just going to chill. You know what I mean? And, but I wanted to be alone because there was stuff that I wanted to do. And I also knew that if I wanted to do certain things, they probably wouldn't let me. Whatever it was, anything. You know, I'm an artist. Look at the internet now. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yep, you can.
And so I spit myself out, you know, to be alone purposely, kind of, so I can connect with people more. Because I felt like I was up here and I wasn't here. I wasn't connecting. So I kind of did that, you know, and it really, you know, it fucked with me. You know, I lost this joy. You know, I lost this, the fun thing that who Pauly Shore is, you know, joyful, loving, giving man, just someone who's crazy. So I believed in all that shit, and I took it heavy, and then I hit bottom.
What's bottom?
Emotionally.
What's going on at the time?
I just felt dead. You know, I felt numb. You know, I felt I don't know. I wasn't looking at life half full. You know, I was looking at all this, and it was all...
Were you staying away from the store? Were you withdrawing from everybody, or just sort of going through the motions?
No, I was just walking around with depression.
Yeah.
You know? And then I called a group therapy that I was involved with when I was a kid called LifeSpring. And I called them up, and they had another seminar. And then I enrolled in that. You know, kind of like AA, where you know, for depression or sadness. Mm-hmm. So I enrolled into that, and I got my joy back. You know, I was able to kind of let go of all the, you know, the chatter, and let go of all the shit that I created, and just start over again. And then that's when I did Pauly Shore is Dead. You know, and that's when I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm going to make fun of that situation. So not only did he kind of go away, but now he's going to make fun of the fact that he went away. And to me, Pauly Shore is Dead is the best movie I've ever done. I mean, I truly believe it. You know what I mean? I mean, Son-in-Law and Biodome are bigger movies, but if you watch Pauly Shore is Dead, you can see the pain in it, but you can also see the comedy in it. And that Pauly Shore is Dead to me was the first part of the second part of my career. But because I put myself out there, I was able to learn to produce and direct and act and edit and graphics and mix and do like all this shit. Like I started doing this shit with Pauly Shore is Dead 20 years ago. You know, on HD, I shot HD and, you know, blah, 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 and, you know, and all that stuff. And I hired my cameraman, Brian, to shoot it, who shot my Totally Pauly show. So I felt comfortable with that guy, and I directed it. And everyone showed up. You know, Sean Penn's in it, Whoopi Goldberg's in it, Ben Stiller's in it, Eminem, Britney Spears, Dr. Dre. You know, everyone got the joke. And it was like awesome. And it took me 5 years.
Did it? 5 years?
Yeah, it took me 5 years. But to me, it's the best thing I've ever done because it's so fucking honest, but it's so fake at the same time. Because if you watch it, like Carrot Top moves into my house. You know what I mean? But it's all played real, like gritty and like docu style. And it's like, people are like, fuck, I didn't know Carrot Top moved in your house, you know? And and then, you know, I started to kind of like just didn't take things so personal. You know, I was just kind of like, you know, if someone talks shit, like, okay, great. You know what I mean? Like they talk shit. And, you know, I wasn't as, ever since then I haven't been as affected. And ever since then, it's been like this. You know what I mean? And, you know, when I do things and everyone listening that's in the business, just put your heart into it and do the best you can and say goodbye to it and leave it. You know, and then
it's like a shit you flush.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Pinocchio. This you know, coming out in the voice of Pinocchio. I did it and I moved on, and then it went viral. You know, my voice, and everyone's like, "Oh, Pinocchio." I'm like, "All right," you know what I mean? And Lionsgate's all happy, and I'm like, "That's awesome," you know. And if it didn't, that'd be awesome too, you know. And that's what this business is. It's not about anything else but just putting your heart into.
That's what life is.
Yeah.